What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over 10 different things that you can do with Google Trends. It's going to be my Google Trends tutorial, so you can learn basically everything you need to know about this tool. It's not a massive tool and it's not difficult to learn, so let's get started with Google Trends, and we'll start with number one. So the main thing you do in Google Trends is you enter a search term or a topic. So you're going to see right here, enter a search term or a topic. This is the main part of Google Trends. So let's just say, for example, I'm interested in what's trending around cars. So I'm just going to enter cars here. So what you're going to see is cars as a search term, radio controlled car as a topic, cars as a film, car sin as a topic. So you're going to see different things here depending on what you enter. So you can see here, there's no actual topic coming up for cars. So maybe I go to SUV. So let's search SUV, search term. They have water, a drink. So sport, utility vehicle, vehicle classification. Now, one of the things you're going to see is when you enter certain keywords like SUV, you're going to see something like this where there's a topic and there's a search term. So you're going to see it with something like, for example, if I do NFL. So NFL, they have search term and then they have a league. So this is the topic. So you're better off using the actual topic itself. There's certain keywords you enter, you're going to see all sorts of different things come up. But if you have something here like NFL League, that's going to be better to use than the NFL search term. Okay, so since Thanksgiving's this week, why don't we just do a quick search for Thanksgiving, and we could do Thanksgiving and we'll do the holiday. So when you do that, basically what's happening with Google Trends is Google is looking at all of their different search engines. So web search, image search, news search, Google Shopping, YouTube search. And for each of these search engines, as we scroll down here, they're taking into account the total interest by subregion. So basically the highest level of interest of Thanksgiving has happened in Texas in the United States. Now I'm going to go through all these different filters as we go through our Google Trends tutorial. But as we scroll down here, as we're looking at just entering a search term or a topic, what you can see is we have a trend line here. So the interest over time. So just looking at seasonality, we come down interest by subregion, and then we're looking at our related topics and related queries, aka related search terms. So you're going to see some rising topics here, and then if we come down, you're also going to see some of the top topics related to whichever topic that we've entered. So these are essentially other topics that are related to this topic, or you're going to get this to this search term. So you're going to see some related search terms as well over here, some rising. So these are what are more popular. So you can see right over here how much they have increased. And now this increase is looking at this specific related search term and the trend from the previous 12 months and the current 12 months. So basically looking at the past 12 months and the overall lift, that's where you see some of these rising search terms. So a lot of these just kind of relate to different holidays. If you're looking at rising, if you're looking at top, you can see some of the top things people are actually searching in Google. And Google is taking into account every single search term that they are getting right now that is related to Thanksgiving. So that's how Google Trends basically compiles all of this data. So where a lot of this could be useful, and we're going to go to number two now, is the related topics and related queries that come with whatever you enter. So let's just say, for example, I'm working with a company that has luxury cars, luxury SUVs. So I want to come into Google Trends. I want to see what is trending around luxury SUVs, and we're going to use the topic here. You could use the search term as well, but let's use the luxury SUV automotive class. We're looking at interest over time. So you can see interest has actually gone down slightly throughout the past 12 months. If we're looking, you can come here and look from 2004 to present. You could look at the past 7 days. So you can basically look at anything you want as far as overall time period. So let's just look at the past 5 years for luxury SUVs. And what you're going to see is where it actually reaches 100. So right here, it looks like this is where the actual peak of people looking up luxury SUVs, keywords related to luxury SUVs, has taken place. Now down here, you can see this is when COVID was first announced. That was March 2020. When the news of COVID and shutdowns came, you can see that a lot of the luxury SUV just kind of goes down and then it comes back up and stays pretty consistent over time. So for some of these, you're going to see major drastic swings. For example, we look at Thanksgiving over the past 5 years. Obviously, it's going to peak when Thanksgiving happens. So pretty obvious there. So let's come back to luxury SUV to go down to our just looking at some of the related topics and related queries. So we're going to scroll down here. Again, there's interest by subregion. I'll go through that later. Now, what you're going to see is luxury SUV, and you're going to see years here. So a lot of times those years are different topics, but they relate to some of the different luxury SUVs that were released during those years. So the 2021 Volvo luxury SUV, whatever it may be. You can click on any of these topics and it's going to open up the Google Trend page for that topic. But what's really useful is they're giving us 25 different rising topics. So if I'm looking up luxury SUV, I can start actually seeing here's what people are searching for, and breakout means there's higher than a 3,000% increase from the actual time period that we're looking at, and we're looking at the past 5 years. So let's just actually look at the past 12 months so we can get a little bit closer data. We'll come down here. So these are the SUVs that people are searching for the most. The Genesis GV70, the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. We could actually see specific SUVs that people are interested in. Obviously, electric vehicles are more popular, hybrid vehicles are more popular, and then you start to get into some related topics, gasoline. So you're just going to find some things that are just related to cars, SUVs in general. Infiniti QX60. So if you are somebody who is working with a luxury SUV brand, you can just come here looking at the related topics to find what people are actually searching for related to this topic. And you could do this for anything. You could also just look at the overall top. So what topics are most relevant to whatever we enter. And then over here, related search terms. I like looking at the rising search terms as well. So we can see some of the different brands that are rising. A lot of people just entering some broad keywords, best luxury SUV 2023. But if you're a marketer, you should see something like this and say, okay, that's a keyword people are searching for a lot. I could try to optimize my website for it. Same with best mid-size luxury SUV. Now, maybe you create comparisons on your website of your luxury SUV versus the Genesis GV70 versus the Cadillac Escalade. So you can actually take a lot of these different rising search terms and use them to guide your marketing strategy. So that's where Google Trends can be really useful for marketers, is understanding what's rising that people are actually searching and some of the top keywords just related to whatever topic you're entering. So again, you can do this for search terms or for topics. It's not going to look much different for the search term itself. So if we scroll down here, you're going to see a lot of the same things here. So some of the related topics. So you could also click on luxury SUV or luxury car, sport utility vehicle to try to get some more data as well. So related search terms, you're going to get some different search terms here. So you could always use the topic and the search term. And what I do a lot of times when I'm coming up with a keyword list, this was my previous video, is I use Google Trends to build this keyword list and then to start coming up with some different content ideas. So it's a really good tool to do that. And the related topics and related queries is the best way to find the exact things people are searching and what's becoming more popular that you can take advantage of from a marketing standpoint. So that's going to bring us to number 3, latest stories and insights. So when there's major topics going on or major things in the news, as you scroll down here, you're going to see latest stories and insights. So they only come up with 2 right here. And if we click show more, they're going to bring up more and more of these latest stories and insights until we have, I think, 12 or 14. So you're going to see some of these different topics. Some of them are a little more sensitive. Some of them are just kind of geared around shopping. So what can be useful is if we scroll down here, you're going to see Halloween. We have some of these different things that people are searching for. And then we have the 2022 shopping trends. So something like this could be really useful because obviously they're going to be looking at what people are looking up the most. So you don't get this type of page for every single topic, which I wish you did, because if we knew exactly what the top search trends are and we can see what people are searching for across different categories, make it a little bit easier for us. So if we keep coming down here, you can see some of the top trending searches. This is on exercise equipment. So over here on video games, consider these trending gift ideas and deals. So you can get all sorts of information here just by coming to the latest stories and insights, which you can find on the Google Trends homepage. So if some of these latest stories and insights are useful for you, then you can maybe use some of them to your advantage as a marketer. So if you're covering the World Cup, then come to Google Trends and see what is trending with the World Cup the entire time. So what are the related searches? The rising searches are going to consistently change over time too as different games are played, depending on what people are looking for. You can search interest in World Cup by country, so you can see which countries are the most interested in the World Cup, maybe helping guide some type of geographic marketing strategy, and then explore how people are searching for teams in the group stages. So A lot of different information here by just coming to the homepage and looking at some of these latest stories and insights. And personally, I mean, the Black Friday and Cyber Monday can be very useful, but I like the shopping insights. Come down here and open that one again. So with shopping trends, if, for example, you're a video game developer or you're somebody who sells video games, you can come down here and say, what are people searching for across categories? Okay, video games, let's explore. And that's going to open up the video game topic page. And we can start seeing in the United States, the past 7 days, all categories, web search, what are people looking up? What's the interest by subregion? So top related topics, related search queries. We could look at top and rising and get an idea of exactly what is the most popular and most basically trending game right now, to use the Google Trend name. So that's latest stories and insights. You can find that right on the homepage. Next is number 4, recently trending and trending searches. So if you're somebody who covers news, you need to know about this. Coming back to Google Trends and going back to the homepage. So if we scroll all the way to the bottom here, this is where we're going to see recently trending, keep up with the latest trending searches. So a lot of these, the World Cup is going on right now, and then we have Thanksgiving at the end of the week. So a lot of these are all geared towards the World Cup. But if we click on more trending searches, we can see daily search trends, and they're going to give us the top 20 search trends on every single day. Now, on the given day, you may only see about 10 at a time. Yeah, we only have 10 here so far. But if we keep scrolling down, you're going to see the next day, Monday, November 21st, all of the top trending searches and what people are looking up. And we have a total of 20. We click on load more, and it's going to bring up Sunday, November 20th. So you can see exactly. Now, some of these are a little bit sensitive topics, but if you do come through here and you cover the news, the daily search trends is a place you want to be, because you're just looking at the top 20 searches every day. And you can also subscribe to this. So if you want to get it in your right in your inbox, you can get it. You can subscribe to the RSS feed. So just another way to keep up with some of the news. And that's going to bring us to number 5, which is going to be real-time search trends. So from the same exact page, daily search trends, if we click on real-time search trends, we can look at the past 24 hours, what some of the most trending searches are, what people are looking up. Again, a lot of this is geared towards the World Cup. And it's going to load a ton of different real-time search trends. And as we scroll down, we can keep loading more and more search trends. You can see how the trend is looking over the past 24 hours. So some of these are basically still spiking and trending, while other ones are starting to drop a little bit. So just different ways to look at the news. And when you're within real-time search trends, one of the things you can do is, let's just say, for example, you just want the business search trends. You don't care about sports. You don't care about any of that. Just use this to categorize some of the different trends that you can see. So if you go to business, you're going to see a lot of different things here than you would see, for example, if you go to science and tech. So just another way to kind of see some of the different things that are popular, and you can adjust this by country as well. And again, this could be really useful if you're somebody who does have a news website about some of these different topics. If, for example, I'm running some type of health website, I can see what are the main things that people are typing about right now. Is there anything trending that I should cover on my own blog? So just another idea here with real-time search trends. I would say 4 and 5 are the 2 places to be if you are a journalist, if you're somebody who covers the news, if you're somebody who is looking for what is in the news, this is where to go. So that's 4 and 5. So let's go to number 6, and that's going to be how we can adjust by web search, image search, news search, Google Shopping, and YouTube search. So we're going to use our Thanksgiving example again, coming back over to the home page, or we could just go directly into Explore, which is going to allow us to add a search term or a topic here. So let's use Thanksgiving, and in this case, I'm going to use the search term. So when we are looking up a search term or a topic, one of the things you can do is adjust by different search engines. So each of these search engines provides completely different results. Now, they're going to be somewhat similar because people who are searching on YouTube look up a lot of the same thing on the web and look up a lot of the same thing in image search. So you may see some crossover there. But let's say we look up Thanksgiving, and let's just say we want to look up Thanksgiving. I'm just going to do the United States for this example. So we're looking at Thanksgiving, United States. Instead of past 12 months, let's see what people have been looking up the past 30 days leading up to Thanksgiving. So you can see the interest over time growing throughout the month, interest by subregion. I will go through both of these in a minute, but what you're going to see is related topics here. So coming over web search, related topics, word search, kindergarten, green bean casserole, golden corral, coloring book. I can tell you by looking at all of these that there's people that are actively researching Thanksgiving word searches. There are people looking up Thanksgiving school lessons, Thanksgiving recipes, specifically a green bean casserole, places to eat Thanksgiving, and then coloring book, again, probably similar to word search or the kindergarten, looking for some type of Thanksgiving activities. So you can see from web search the different things that people are looking up, the rising things people are looking up: movies, videos, read alouds, jokes for kids. If we're looking at the top searches, when is Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving Day, 2022 Thanksgiving, these are all pretty much geared towards the actual Thanksgiving date. Turkey, what is Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving food. So you can see some of these different categories of what people are looking up. And you could do the same thing over here with topics. Let's look at some of the rising topics still. Trivia, food, drink, side dish. So a lot geared around food, obviously, and then some for kids. And then related topics: Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving dinner, turkey meat, side dish, dessert, calendar date, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So that's web search. Now, if we go to YouTube search, for example, we're going to get different results. So we come down here, you're going to see a lot geared around kids. So people are looking for kids Thanksgiving videos. So you can see with some of these trending related topics around Thanksgiving, it's all pretty much geared towards some of these different videos that you're most likely going to show kids. Same with related queries: Thanksgiving for kindergarten, preschool, books, art hub. Now, Thanksgiving timer, that's probably more for people who are cooking. So you're going to see some different ideas here if you come to shopping. So if we go to Google Shopping, people are looking for products. So we come down here, Thanksgiving decorations. Let's look up, we got no rising here. So rising: tablecloth, pie, dinner, catering, harvest. So people are probably actively looking up certain things they could purchase, like a tablecloth, plates, might be a pie dish. People looking up Thanksgiving crafts, inflatables. That could either be inflatables for your front yard, potentially. Thanksgiving decorations, obviously a query related to people purchasing. So that's Google Shopping. Now, news, I don't know if we're going to get much news around Thanksgiving. You might have, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So that makes sense. And then if we do one more, we'll do image search. Probably going to have some type of macaroni and cheese. So drawings, coloring pages. So some of the topics aren't always, these are people just looking up pictures of food, I guess. And then some different topics here, not the best thing to look at. But if we're looking at images, a turkey drawing, coloring pages free, words, printables, drawing easy. So if you're, depending on what you're looking up here as far as the search term, you're going to get different results for different search engines. So just keep that in mind. And the other thing, coming into our next number 7 here, you can also always look at the interest over time and interest by subregion. So Thanksgiving, we know the interest over time is always going to peak right around the day of Thanksgiving. So that's going to be the same every single year. So you can see seasonality here. So when you're looking up something like headphones, for example, you can see over for a 12-month period, when are people the most likely to buy headphones? Now, it's probably around the holiday season because that's when people buy a lot of different products like that. But looking up Thanksgiving past 30 days, interest by subregion. So this is saying South Dakota is the most interested in Thanksgiving, and it's kind of by a lot. So this 100 is basically a score given to the place with the most searches around Thanksgiving, the most interest around whatever topic or search term we enter. So there's clearly, based on population, the most interest in South Dakota. Now you're seeing some of these other states as well, so not really too much to gather from here. I guess some states search for Thanksgiving a little more. You might be able to get a little bit more idea if you look up something like saltwater fishing. So if you're looking up saltwater fishing as a search term, this is where we can kind of see, let's look at the past 5 years. So we kind of see trends all over the place here, not really too much to gather, but I'm sure there's some type of thing we could look at to say, okay, people are more likely to go when it's a little bit warmer out, but that's peaking in December. So yeah, not much here seasonality, but you're going to see, as far as saltwater fishing, you're going to see more along the oceans here where people are going to have more interest in saltwater fishing than they might in some of these landlocked countries. So just another way to look at the interest over time, interest by subregion. Now let's use our headphones example before. Let's see see if we could see people buy headphones. You can see some peaks here. So August, and again in December, August, and in December. So I guess people buy a lot of headphones during the summer months, it looks like. because it kind of peaks in August every year. So it gives you some ideas of different ways to activate your own marketing strategy. So that's how to kind of look at some of these different Google Trends and the interest over time. So number 8, advanced search and filters. So now number 8 and the next thing I want to go over are advanced search and filters. So let's go back to our World Cup example here, and let's say FIFA World Cup, and we could see the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 tournament. So we're going to open up the tournament page, and let's just say we're going to look up the last 90 days. So we can see some of the trend lines over the last 90 days. Okay, instead of doing United States, let's look at worldwide, and instead of image search, let's make sure we're doing web search. And what we can do is categorize our search as well. So obviously this is a sports search, but sometimes you may enter keywords or topics that could end up in 2 different categories. So if we come down here, let's make sure we keep this in the sports category. So you're able to use some of this different filters here to look at interest over time worldwide versus interest over time just in a specific area. And as we come down here, we can look at the interest by region. So you can see the top countries here that are searching for the FIFA World Cup. Now, obviously, Qatar, since they're hosting it, they're getting the most interest by that region. But you can see some of these other regions here and see where there's some interest and where there may not be as much interest. You can compare some of these different regions. And then what we can also do is I can, for example, say, let's click on Brazil. And now we're going to look at Brazil, their overall interest the past 90 days, and we can break it down by sub-region. So you can break down specific areas by sub-regions as well. So you can see where people in Brazil have the most interest in the World Cup. And then you also get some related topics down here. This is going to be all geared towards Brazil as well. So just some different ways to look up information with advanced search and filters. If you want to look at different locations, you can easily do that. So if we come to the United States, we can see which areas in the United States have the highest level of interest in the World Cup. So looking at sub-region, District of Columbia, New Jersey, California, Texas, Florida. So a lot of these almost geared towards, but let's look up metro areas. So Miami, Fort Lauderdale, the most popular metro area as far as the World Cup. So you're going to see a lot of different cities here, and we can click to a specific city and break it down even further by city. So kind of find all sorts of different information here by adjusting the location. We can adjust by the time period. So the FIFA World Cup in Qatar obviously isn't going to have too much from 2004 to present because, you know, it isn't announced yet. So you can kind of see some of the dates where it's talked about, and then otherwise, for the most part, it's just low until we get over here. So we can adjust category if you need to, and then we can adjust the type of search engine, which we went through already. So that's going to be number 8, some advanced search and filters you can use with Google Trends, and some different ways you can look at the information, especially if you want to break it down by sub-region. Now, number 9, compare 2 search terms or 2 topics. So let's come in here. Let's say I'm arguing with my friend, what's more popular, baseball or basketball in the United States? So let's take baseball, sports, and let's take basketball. And we'll do sports here as well. Instead of Los Angeles, we will do United States. And let's just look at the past 5 years. So we'll see what's the most popular over the past 5 years. Actually, let's do that full time. So what you can see in the interest over time with baseball been pretty stagnant. You see some years up a little bit, some years they go down a little bit. So COVID really went down and went down in basketball as well. But you can see basketball just rising over time. So kind of get some ideas over which one is more trending, which one is more popular, and which one is kind of just staying stagnant. So keep scrolling down, compared by sub-region. So interest for baseball for the most part. States prefer basketball to baseball, or at least show more interest in basketball through Google search engines. Baseball, so you can see some related search queries. Basketball, some related search queries. But if you want to actually look up a couple different keywords and compare them, you can. So for example, let's say I want to figure out what's more popular between some of the large car makers. So let's use Toyota car make. Let's come over here. Let's use Honda and automobile make. And we'll do Nissan for this one. So we'll do these different car makes. So we have Toyota, Honda, Nissan. So let's look at interest over time. So the average, just looking here, showing most interest in Honda. You can see over time. So Honda has dropped over time, while Toyota has stayed pretty similar with some ups and downs. You can see breakdown by subregion in different states, different metro, different city. And you can look at if there's certain areas that people prefer some of these different car makes versus others. So kind of comparing different things to see what's more popular, where's the interest in terms of different locations. And then you can also look up some of these different related search terms for all of these different car makers as well. So number 9, comparing 2 or more search terms or 2 or more topics. Now number 10, year in search. So this is going to be the last thing I'm going to go through, but click over here. We come back home. They actually have it over here on the left-hand side too, but if we come home, we search or scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see year in search. See what was trending on Google by year. So this could be really cool because if we say, okay, let's see what was trending at the year in search for 2013. So let's see what was trending. We'll scroll down. Okay, so annual events, appetizers, athletes, they're just pulling out some different locations here. So when you start to go through these, some of these can be a little, because a lot of times things that are trending aren't always positive. So sometimes they are negative, but you can see some of the trending blogs. Some of these may not even exist anymore. Keep coming down here. So what's trending in different areas? Trending cocktails, trending car companies, trending colleges and universities, trending dance moves. So you can see some pretty cool things here. I mean, if you're looking at trending dance moves, obviously a lot of these are no longer trending. Keep coming down, different diets and how popular they are. Donations, endangered species, famous internet animals. So it's kind of cool to come through the year in search and just see what was trending. And you can adjust by country here as well. So you can see what was trending in different countries in different years. You can look at global data. So pretty much anything you want to look at for year in search. And they do have it here on the left-hand side. So if you do want to look up what was trending in different years, they have it going all the way back to 2001. So basically, you could figure out all sorts of things that were trending over the years. It's kind of cool to look back sometimes and see what was popular movies, popular songs, popular dance moves. So seeing what was trending in some of these different years can be pretty interesting. Now, the one final thing with Google Trends is you can sign up for subscriptions. So if you come to the subscriptions page, click on the plus sign. Let's say I want a subscription to Google Ads, the topic of Google Ads. Let's say we'll just use worldwide, and let's say once a week, click on subscribe, and I'm going to get an email once a week about any trending topics related to Google Ads. So we're going to find out a little bit more information if we can sign up for some of these subscriptions, but hopefully this is helpful. My Google Trends tutorial, mostly everything you're doing is going to be in this Explore section. When you enter search terms, whatever it may be, we'll just click on Cupcake here. You can adjust by location, you can adjust by time period, you can adjust by categories, you can adjust by search engine. You can compare it to different topics or search terms. You can see the interest over time along with seasonality. If we keep scrolling down, it's always interesting that something just peaks in 2013 and just kind of slowly going down. But keep scrolling down, interest by region, which places like cupcakes the most, related topics. So what are the most relevant topics that are rising and the top topics related to this. And we can click on any of these and get even more information if we click on any of them. So all sorts of things you can do here with Google Trends, and it can be really useful. I mean, I used it the other day to create a keyword list, and then I started taking some of my keywords out and coming up with some different content ideas. So as a marketer, it's easy to come to Google Trends and find some different ideas, see what's raising, see what's popular, and try to take advantage of that before 100 other marketers do the same thing as you. So that's where Google Trends can come in handy. So if you have any questions about Google Trends, please leave them in the comments section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.